Hello, everyone. A very warm welcome to all of you present for today's special webinar, I would say. Uh, I'm pretty sure Saturday evening you are there here today to attend this special webinar on fall 24 out there, and of course spring as well. And this makes us clear that a lot of you are aiming for your higher education in the upcoming months or year out there, and that is why today you're here for this webinar where we're going to help you understand some of the perks of going for the fall intake. We're going to give you a deadline. We're going to give you a timeline. We're going to talk about a lot of other activities that comes into picture when you talk about higher education. So before we start with this session, we would quickly like to help you understand who we are and what exactly we do. And we are here to help you right from the basic step that comes to your personalized test preparation. That can be for SAT, GRE, TOEFL, or IELTS. And not only that, we have our team of experts helping students right from their basic process of understanding which university they can get into or what profile they can choose for their higher education. So this includes, admission counseling for bachelor's, master's, and doctorate degree, where we help you with university shortlisting, helping you draft the statement of purpose, letter of recommendations, profile building, and many more such activities. Followed by Galvanize is at your back for your last minute assistance when it comes to helping you connect with the right loan providers or, helping you for foreign exchange and many more such activities. Now, this is a very important aspect, I would say here, because Galvanize is actually founded and managed by alumni from top universities like Stanford, Harvard, IIT Madras, and Ahmedabad. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you would be dreaming to pursue your higher education, these top universities out there. 65 plus countries have chosen Galvanize in their journey of higher education. And not only that, we have helped our students get placed across 1,000 plus universities across 18 plus countries. And I'm pretty sure you would be seeing your dream destination out there on the screen. And we are equally thrilled to help you get into your dream university out there with expert guidance out there. And these are some of the specializations where we can help you get into. So in case you wish to change your specialization in your master's plan, don't worry, Galvanize is there at your back to help you to do that as well with right guidance. And this is a very famous thread on Quora. I won't take much of the time here, but I would quickly share the link on chat box. And I would request you to please take a look at these threads, because this is something where students have shared their experience as to how Galvanize has helped them in their journey of higher education. May it be test prep or the admissions part, Galvanize has helped them. And this is their feedback for you. Now, well, here is the first time. It's time for the first poll that we would like to run. And that includes, how familiar are you with the application process for universities? Right? Because in this session, we are going to talk a lot about the application process, the documents required. So we would quickly like to understand. Okay, so a lot of you are quite familiar with the process, but not very sure about it. Okay, and I think we can end the poll now to understand. Okay, so major of them are a little bit dicey as to, what exactly is the admission process and how exactly we should go for it. So here we are for the session. And before we start with the session, we would quickly like to help you understand who is going to help you in this whole process. So we have with us Raguvir Krishna, who is the senior university admission expert at Galvanize Global Education, and a little bit about him. So here, basically, he's done his MBA in marketing and finance, and he has worked in UK for 1 year before joining Galvanize with us, with 17 plus years of experience. So with 17 plus years of experience, He is in different fields such as, admission counseling, business development, HR, marketing, whatnot. I mean, 17 is a very big years out there. And he has been counseling students like you for over 6 years now. And Galvanize, we are very happy to have him because he has been handling the admission process for MS, MBA, and PhD aspirants out there. So without any further delay, I would request Raghuvi to start with the session.
Thank you, Ramya. Thank you so much for that quick introduction about me. So, in fact, you kind of created a kind of a hype for me only. Okay, so I believe like I will stick to those expectations. And first of all, I would like to thank everyone who have joined this webinar. Okay, so on a Saturday evening. We are not able to hear you. 1 minute, I guess there is some issues with my audio.
Whatever you're talking, remove headphones and talk. Best.
Sai, we are able to. Yes, yes. I think a quick check in the audience part as well. So, guys, if Raghu is audible, please type a yes in the chat box so that we can proceed further. Yes, great. We can hear him. So, I think Raghu, you can start. Continue. We are audible. There are a lot of yes coming in.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ramya. And I think that was quite a start only for this webinar. And I believe Ramya gave a quick introduction about me, and thank you so much for that, Ramya. I kind of believe you created an hype for myself. Okay, so but I will try to do justice for you. Okay, and first of all, I would like to thank all people who have taken the time out, especially on a Saturday evening, to be a part of this session. So as Ramya mentioned to you people, okay, so we as a company, we help students with the admission process, okay, for undergraduate programs, for master's studies, for PhD, and also UG and PG diploma programs. And today's session, so we are going to largely focus on people who are targeting to do a master's or higher studies after their bachelor's degree, okay? And today's session, so we are not going to discuss in detail about each destination, but we are trying to give you a broad perspective of what are some reasons that you can consider when you're planning to go abroad for your higher studies. And in the first place, should you have to go abroad for your higher studies? Okay, so so in the crowd, if there are still people who are kind of speculating whether you need to go abroad for your higher studies or not, so today I'm going to share you some perspectives, okay, some personal perspectives of myself. And apart from that, okay, so which will actually help you to take a decision whether you need to leave your home country for your higher studies or not. And secondly, so we are going to discuss upon what are the different study destinations, okay, options that are available for you, and what factors you can consider, okay, in choosing your study destinations. And then we are going to touch upon the different factors the universities are going to consider, okay, in your application, okay. And then we are also going to touch upon how to fund your higher studies. And then finally, I'm going to take you through some case studies, okay. Case studies will be involving a student's profile, okay, the students whom we have helped in the past. And finally, I will be giving a very quick walkthrough on the Galvanize portal, okay. So I'm not sure if Ramya has mentioned, okay, so we are completely online, okay, so it's a tech-driven company, okay, so students who sign up for the service with Galvanize will be given a dedicated portal, and all their test preparations as well as their admission counseling. So everything is going to be run through the portal. So to start off, okay, so I'm not quite sure. So how many people are still speculating to go abroad for your higher studies? So for me, okay, so there are three major reasons that you can consider, okay, so when you're trying to go abroad for your higher studies. 1 minute. This one. Okay, good. So firstly, it is the global exposure that you guys are bound to get. Okay, so when you're leaving your home country and going to a foreign land, okay, so which means you're going to be in entirely a new world. Okay, so a new world means like you will get that opportunity to meet people from various other countries. It is not just you who is going to be there. Okay, so students from across the globe are going to travel. Okay, to for their higher studies. So you're going to be at the center of a new world. Okay, so which means okay, so far all these years, like 22 years. Okay, so you're so used to your home tradition and your culture. Okay, so but when you're stepping out, okay, so you're stepping into a new world, which means you're going to be exposed to entirely a new cultures, new values, and new beliefs. So you will be able to learn their values, and more importantly, you will learn how to appreciate others' values and beliefs. And this global exposure. So what is it for a student? Okay, so as a student, you will be able to understand the perspective in which people from other countries are approaching a particular problem. Okay, so their style, okay, in resolving a problem. So you will be able to understand that. And the second important reason is going to be the academic exposure you're going to get. So there are going to be three factors. One is going to be the technology, the research exposure you're going to get, the diverse fields that you will be able to study, and the emphasis on practical training. So all these three factors, I'm going to bucket them as one category. So that's going to be academics. Okay. So So all these reasons can be bucketed as one category, that is going to be academics. So a lot of students, especially from a developing country, okay, so they will be traveling abroad for their higher studies. Okay, and when you look at the study options that you get, okay, so for example, in India, okay, so some of the most popular studies are going to be computer science, civil engineering, biotechnology. Okay, so and it is pretty limited. Okay, so but when you're going abroad, like a country like the United States, the UK, or the Canada, the kind of a diverse fields that you have, okay, you will get an opportunity to specialize in data science, artificial intelligence, machine learning, bioinformatics, and so many other fields. Okay, and especially in a developing country, okay, so you don't have the options of specializing in these specialized areas, which are some of the latest and the trending technologies nowadays. Okay, so the diverse field that you will be able to specialize in. And then as a student, the kind of exposure, you will be able to understand what your potentials are, okay, especially like what your real skills are, okay. So because the infrastructure that will be given to you in terms of exploring yourself, it's going to be immense, okay, because the kind of a funding that is involved in research activities is going to be way so high, especially when you're going to compare the research funds that are used in a developing country. Okay, so this technology, this infrastructure for your research will actually help to explore yourself. Okay, so whether you have a research skill inside you, and you have this opportunity of not only playing around with some of the latest technologies, so but you can also try to explore and understand some of the futuristic technologies as well. And more importantly, the learning approach. Okay, so in a lot of developing countries like India, Bangladesh, okay, so and other Asian countries, okay, so the emphasis is more on theoretical learning. Okay, so but when it comes to higher studies in abroad, okay, like US, UK, Canada, Germany, okay, so all these places, the emphasis is more into practical training. Okay, so they're not just focusing on improving your theoretical knowledge, but their overall goal is to improve the application knowledge of the student. And finally, okay, so the most important factor, okay, so it is the last, but not the least. Okay, so that's going to be the opportunities you're going to get. Okay, so the job opportunities and the attractive compensation you're going to get. Okay, so you can see a lot of foreign tourists, okay, coming down to developing countries like India, okay, and they're able to live a luxury vacation life here, okay. So the reason is because of the value of the currency, okay. So you can be probably earning a 6-digit salary out here, okay. So but when you're going to earn the same 6-digit salary in the US or in the UK, okay, so it's going to increase your spending capacity immensely in your home country. Okay, so job opportunities is going to be one of the most important factor that you need to consider. Okay, when you're still speculating whether you need to go abroad for your higher studies or not. And for an example, I will give you one. I would like to quote an instance of one of my student. I don't know, like whether a student of 40 years or 43, okay, so would be really like to risk to go abroad, okay, leaving his family back in the home country for higher studies and investing 45-50 lakhs in Indian currency for higher studies. But you see, so the guy, okay, so is 43 years old, okay, so if I'm not wrong, okay, and is very recent to go abroad for higher studies is the earning potentials. Okay, and it doesn't mean he's not earning well in India. Okay, so if I'm not wrong, he was working for a top IT company and was already drawing a salary of 45 to 50 lakhs. Okay, so you can understand, okay, so a candidate of this profile, so why should the person leave their comfort zone, travel abroad, leave their families behind, okay, so and invest so much on higher studies? It's because of their earning potentials. So these are some important reasons that you can consider, okay, so when you're speculating like whether you need to go abroad for your higher studies or not. And final one personal perspective is, okay, so so you see, as long as you're going to be with your family, okay, so there are a lot of people, okay, so who tend to become lazy, okay, so but if you're going to go abroad, okay, so trust me, okay, you need to take care of yourself. Okay, so you need to get up early in the morning, you need to handle all your finances, manage all your expenses, okay, and take real good care of yourself. Okay, so you're able to contribute back to your family in your own country. Okay, so studying abroad, okay, so apart from all these impact that's going to have on your life, okay, so it's going to change you as a better person, okay, as a more organized person. Okay, so I don't know. So still, there could be some people, okay, who have kind of now made their minds. Okay, so studying abroad is going to be a great option. So once you have decided that you need to go abroad for your higher studies, the next important factor is you need to decide on your study destination. Okay, so there are a lot of popular destinations for higher studies. So today we are going to discuss about some of the popular destinations only. Okay, so that's these destinations that we're going to put across. Okay, so you're not limited within these destinations. There are so many other destinations for your higher studies. But today we are going to discuss about some of the popular destinations. And while considering your so what factors you really need to consider. Okay, so when you're going to decide where you're going to do your higher studies, okay, whether it's a master's, a PhD, or any higher studies for that matter, even an undergraduate program. So some of the important factors, okay, so that you can consider is going to be your academics, your career, and the cost and the scholarship. So you see, so we have given stars, okay, so for example, for academics and career, okay, so the more the number of stars, okay, the better the destination is for academics and for career opportunities, okay. And but when it comes to cost, okay, so the more number of stars are given for those destinations which have a lower cost. Okay, so if you're going to look at this slide, so you can understand, okay, so Germany has more stars, okay, so it's because a lot of programs in the Germany, okay, so are from public universities and they're going to fund the students' higher studies completely. And next is the scholarship opportunities. Again, for scholarship opportunities, okay, so the number of stars, the more stars given, okay, means the scholarship opportunities are more in these study destinations. So these are some factors that you can consider for choosing your destination. But these factors, you know, so they're going to become your preferences. Okay, so you can have your preferences, but it is very important. Okay, so in order to be successful in getting an admit, so it is important that you consider what your profile is. Okay, so you have a set of preferences. Okay, but again, there is a profile. Okay, you need to have a profile to be in any of these countries. Okay, for example, okay, so Germany is a destination which is very popular for mechanical engineering programs, automobile engineering programs, okay, but they do not require a GRE, okay. So, so which is a test required for admission into higher studies, especially in the US, but and other countries also, okay, like Singapore, but it is not a requirement for Germany. Okay, and so which makes Germany as a very academic centric country. Okay, and a student with a profile of 6.5 CGPA or maybe a 2.8 GPA in a scale of 4. So, but the student has the preference that you wanted to study in a low cost country where it's not going to cost too much and the scholarship opportunities are better. Okay, so you can choose Germany based on his preference, but how sellable is his profile? Okay, so you need to understand your profile, you need to match with your preferences. Okay, and Galvanize what we do. Okay, so here, okay, so it is always students' preference that comes first to us. Okay, so the same profile. Okay, so we can help the student with 2 country options. So our primary target country for this particular example that I quoted, okay, so will be Germany. Okay, so that will be the first country that we will be targeting, and we will also suggest a good backup country for the student. Okay, so in order to research and come out with a bunch of universities, okay, and when making applications, we see to it the student is successful in getting an admit in any of the options that we're going to figure out for the student. So my sincere request is that, okay, so have your preferences, okay, work towards your preferences, because end of the day, money always matters. So everyone has a dream. Okay, so but for dreams to come true, okay, so you should have the required funds for that. Okay, especially when you wanted to study abroad. Okay, so have your preferences, but you should also be considering what your profile is. Okay, and have a rational thought process, especially when you are selecting your destinations and your universities. And at Galvanize, our counselors will be supporting you on that. And once you consider which destination you want to study, now it is important you need to prepare yourself, right? Okay, so for example, so you wanted to go on a vacation, okay, for a trekking, okay, so with your friends, okay, so now you need to prepare yourself. Okay, so you need to get your trekking shoes. Okay, so whatever materials you wanted to take for your trekking, so there needs to be some level of preparation that is required. Okay, so well, now you have decided, okay, so you wanted to go to the US or maybe the UK, okay, for your higher studies. Now you need to prepare yourself, okay, irrespective of which country you're going to go to. Okay, so some of the preparations, it's going to remain the same. Okay, so we have come out with some points, okay, here, okay, so which are components that you need to focus while you're preparing yourself for your study abroad journey. And we will also very quickly take you through, okay, so maybe not very much in detail, okay, so but we'll give you an eye level idea and perspective on how to approach on those different components of your application. So some of the important components of your application, okay, so nevertheless, okay, so your academics, okay, so academics is going to be a very important component of your application. Okay, so but having said that, okay, so universities abroad, they're not going to get carried away just with your academics. Okay, so I've seen so many students, okay, with little tricky profiles, okay, with a CGPA of 6.5 or a 2.6 in a scale of 4. Okay, so but they all ended up in good admits. The reason is because universities take a holistic approach when they're evaluating your profiles. Okay, they're not going to just get carried away with one aspect of your profile. So for example, if you're a student who have decided to target the United States, and so it is not just the GPA. Okay, so they will consider your GRE scores, your internship experience, okay, and if you're a working professional, so what sort of a work experience you have, and your research experience. So all these factors are going to be considered, okay, so when when the universities are trying to take a decision on your application. And apart from these four factors, okay, so your SOP. So SOP is nothing but a statement of purpose, okay. So we are going to discuss a little more in detail about SOP. So SOP is a very important document in your application. And then the recommendation letters, okay. So how compelling your SOPs and how strong your recommendation letters are. So all these factors are going to be considered when the university is taking a decision. So I can see that there could be students out here in attending this session, so who may not have an excellent academic record, okay. So but see to it, the admission process, the decision is made, okay, so after through a holistic approach. So concentrate on other areas, because CGPA is something that you can't do anything, okay. So no one can do anything about our past, right? Okay, so then there is nothing much we can do by regretting for that, okay. So forget about the past, okay. Focus on what is there before you, okay. Focus on those components which will make your profile look better. Focus on your test, okay. So the GRE, okay, so which has got that power to make your profile, overall profile, look better. Try to involve yourself in more internship activities. And if you're a student who wanted to choose a research path, okay, so focus on your research activities. And finally, come out with some compelling SOP and identify some strong recommenders for your application. And with respect to the test scores, okay, so I mentioned TOEFL and IELTS as well here, but I would like to mention, so GRE is more powerful than the TOEFL or the IELTS, okay. So TOEFL or IELTS is more an English language test, okay, which is a very basic test requirement for your admissions. So what will be the role of TOEFL and IELTS? Okay, so it plays an important role, okay, so when you're being considered for a teaching assistantship especially, okay. So focus on all these areas, okay. So don't be worried your CGPA is slightly on the lower side. Focus on other components, and if your CGPA is good, again focus on all the other components, okay. So your profile looks to be one of the best, okay. So focus on these areas, okay. So and when to focus, okay, and how to start the entire process, okay. So each country, okay, so has a different process, okay. So the timelines, okay. So but broadly speaking, most of them, okay, so follow the same timeline. So not sure like how many people are aware about the different intake options available. So by the way, like intake means it is the day like when the programs are going to start. So today we are going to discuss about two major intakes. So fall and the spring intake. So fall is the major intake. Most of the students will be targeting the fall intake. So the programs will be starting somewhere in the month of August or September every year. And spring intake, the program will be starting from Jan or probably February of each year. So how to determine like when to start your process, okay, the entire application process, the admission process, I mean. So if you're a student who is targeting US, okay, so apart from the English test, okay, and other documents, okay, so you have the responsibility of cracking the GRE as well, okay. So and GRE scores are going to be valid for around 5 years. Okay, so if you're right now in your college, okay, so first year is also ideal, okay, so but normally a lot of students enroll for the GRE preparation, so in the second or third year. The reason is because, okay, so your academic workload is going to be considerably less, okay, and you have sufficient time to dedicate for your GRE preparation, okay, and GRE is not an easy test, okay, so you need to spend some quality time, okay, and play around with some quality content, okay, and practice questions, okay, so you're able to really crack this. So students who are targeting US as your study destinations, okay, so you can start your preparations as early as when you're second or third year of your bachelor's degree. Okay, and for other countries, okay, so I will give you kind of a rule. Okay, so let's start working from backwards. Okay, so I told you, okay, so the programs for fall intake, okay, so it's going to start somewhere in the month of August. Okay, and if in August you need to start your program, okay, you should have initiated your visa process at least 3 months before. Okay, so if you're going to work backwards, okay, so August, July, June, May. So you need to initiate your visa process somewhere around May, irrespective of which country you're going to target. If you're going to target US, it's a very difficult thing to get a visa appointment. Okay, so students will get really very anxious only. Okay, so because visa slots are available in very scarce. Okay, so it is important that you initiate the process at least 3 months before the program start date. Okay, so you're able to get a visa appointment date. So, and if you're a person who's targeting other countries, okay, so again, 3 months before you need to initiate, because most of the other countries, it's all a document-driven visa process. You need to submit all the documents, okay, so complete your biometric and all that stuff, okay, so which will easily take you somewhere between a month or a little more than that, okay, to get your visa application scrutinized and to receive your passport back or your visa decision. Okay, so you need to give yourself 3 months time, okay, in order to get a decision on your visa application. So if you need to initiate your visa process from May, okay, so which means you need to have a decision from the university and you need to have the required documents, okay, to initiate your visa process. So for a US, you need to have a document called I-20. For UK, you need to have a document called CAS. Okay, and for other countries, you need to have an admit letter and you should have paid your tuition fee and all that stuff. Okay, so for you to initiate the process from May, you should have had a decision. Okay, so and this decision, okay, so you should start receiving from February, March, April onwards. So by end of April, so you have all the decisions with you. So now it is time for you to get in touch with your admission counselor like me, okay, and understand like which admit is the best for you so you can proceed with the visa process. And at Galvanize, we are going to give you some data points. Okay, so we are not going to take a decision for you. Okay, so because all of you are going for your master's studies, which is basically makes all of you adults. Okay, so we are going to guide you in taking a decision. So we give you all the data points, let you know what is the ranking, so what is the cost, what is the scholarship and all that stuff. So you will be able to take an informed decision. So you will also have the opportunity to discuss with your counselors, okay, so what is more beneficiary, where the return is going to be more, and we are going to help you on that. So by Feb, March, April, you should have accumulated all your decisions. Okay, so by end of April, you will be able to take a decision which admit you need to proceed for your visa process. And for you to have a decision from February, okay, so university's turnaround time. So once you submit an application, okay, so you're not going to get a decision instantly in a week or two. Okay, so it's going to take like 6 to 8 weeks. Okay, and sometimes, okay, there are universities, and nowadays computer science programs especially have become so very popular, or any program which is closely related to computer science, okay, so are also very popular, okay, because everyone wants to build a career in IT field. Okay, and universities are taking more time than a normal what they normally take. Okay, so I've seen students waiting for 3 months together, okay, to get a decision on their application. Okay, so based on the turnaround time, if you need to have a decision from Feb, so consider, okay, again, work backwards. Okay, so it's going to take 6 to 8 weeks for you to receive a decision. So from November, December onwards, okay, you should have started making your applications. And if you wanted to make your applications from December, okay, so prior to that, you should be ready with your test scores. You should be ready with all your documents, with your SOP, recommendation letters, resume, okay, and everything. Okay, it's because universities are going to review only completed applications. Okay, so you should have submitted not just the application, but all the documents required for your application by December or maximum, okay, by Jan. Okay, so you need to complete the entire application process. Now, So you have some intake in your mind. It can either be a fall or it can either be a spring. Okay, so or there are other intakes called a summer intake, and normally programs will start in May or sometime in June. Okay, so irrespective of what intake you're going to target, okay, if you're going to work backwards, okay, you should start your entire process at least 10 months before your program start date. Okay, so after this session, okay, so you need not have to Google and try to see like when you need to start your preparations. Okay, based on the program timeline, okay, when it is going to start. Okay, so work backwards. Okay, 10 months before. Okay, you need to start the entire process. And if you're a person who's going to target Canada, okay, so be careful. Canada, we have limited universities and the competition is way too high. Okay, so you need to start your process at least 12 months before the program start date. Okay, so keep these things in mind, okay, and start working accordingly. Okay, students who are targeting the spring 24, okay, see like you guys are not very early, so you need to buckle up, okay, and speed up the entire process. And fall 24, okay, so don't procrastinate and prolong your process, okay, try to be an early applicant. A little later in the session, we will discuss like why it is important to submit your applications early as well. So now let's very quickly discuss. So we previously discussed some factors that are considered by universities. Okay, so now like if there are students who are going to target the GRE. Okay, so what is a GRE? So the GRE is a graduate record examination. So especially students who are targeting US. Okay, so GRE is a mandatory test. That could be some universities which are waived off, but having a GRE is going to be very, very important for your application. And students who are going to target MBA programs, again, GRE is going to be very important. So GRE is going to test your verbal and your quantitative reasoning. And apart from that, they're going to test your analytical writing skills as well. So it's a completely a computer-based test, which is governed by Educational Testing Services, otherwise called the ETS. So you can take the GRE exam 5 times in a year. Okay, and between each test, you need to have at least 21 days of gap. Okay, so but maximum you will be able to take the test 5 years. Okay, sorry, 5 times in a period of 12 months, and the scores are going to be valid for 5 years as well. Okay, so you can log into the ETS portal, okay, and see like what is which dates are convenient, and how prepared are you based on your how ready are you. You can book your test. And so recently, so giving the GRE test, it doesn't have any eligibility requirements. So there is no age limit as such. Okay, so the fees will vary depending on the country you're staying. Okay, so check the prices in your locality. Okay, so you can check all these things on the ETS website. Okay, so at Galvanize, so we can help you in preparing for the GRE. Okay, so and we provide you a lot of analytics which will help to understand how ready are you to give your GRE. Okay, so at every time, at each point in your preparation, you will get to know like how much you have improved. Okay, so how close you are to your target score. So based on which, okay, so you can take a call, like when to book your GRE. And GRE nowadays, okay, there is this home test option also available, okay, making things very convenient. Okay, so so you can book your test either at the test center or at a home-based test as well. And so it is not something dependent on your engineering books. Okay, so unlike the GATE exam, okay, so it is more to test your verbal reasoning and your mathematical skills, your quant skills. Okay, so understand the deadline for your university applications, and based on which start working on your GRE. And some reasons to give the GRE. Okay, so I've seen a lot of students come back to me and say, sir, I would like to apply without the GRE score. A lot of universities have waived off the GRE. Okay, and every time when they say a lot of university has waived off the GRE, I really become curious. Okay, and I Google and research, okay, to understand what universities have waived off. A lot of top universities have waived off, but how good is the student's profile for those universities? Yeah, so there are universities which have waived off the GRE. Okay, some universities have waived off, but you need to consider what your profile is. Is your profile good enough to apply to that university? Okay, so consider that. Okay, so I will always pitch in and ask everyone to give the GRE. It's because it is not only going to help you with the admission process, but at a later stage, it will also help you with your scholarships. I have a particular student who admitted into a university without a GRE score. Okay, but after starting a program, okay, so her university advisor suggested her to give a GRE. Okay, so for what? For scholarship. Okay, so it is important, okay, so to have a GRE. Okay, so no matter what, okay, especially when you're targeting US. And apart from that, students were targeting business studies. Okay, so GRE is considered equivalent to the GMAT. Okay, so do give the GRE exams. Okay, so it is also competitive enough for business studies as well. And next, the TOEFL or the IELTS. Okay, so these are more English test. Okay, to test your proficiency in the English language. So you're gonna go abroad for your higher studies, so which means you need to converse in English. Okay, so this is going to test your English skills, okay, language skills. Okay, and I wouldn't say it's a deciding factor, but it is a very basic minimum eligibility criteria for you to apply. So and these tests will play a role. Okay, so when you're pitching in for a teaching assistantship, a little later we will discuss what teaching assistantships are. So they will be particular to know like what your English test scores are. So TOEFL is very popular in US. Okay, and it is again governed by the educational testing services. Okay, so you can take this online. Okay, it's a computer driven test, so you can give it online either at your home or at the test center in your place. And this is going to test your English language skills on 4 different areas. One is reading, speaking, listening, and then the writing. Okay, and there have been some recent changes. Okay, so in TOEFL. Okay, so similarly there are some changes in the GRE as well. Okay, so reducing the time. Okay, and this reduction in time is going to be effective. The GRE, it's going to be effective from September, and for TOEFL it's going to be from July. Okay, so how important is this change? Okay, so this reduction in time is going to make the test really less stressful. Okay, and I've seen a lot of students, okay, capable students, unable to score the marks that they decide to. Okay, the reason is because, okay, GRE being a 4-hour test. Okay, so it is pretty stressful. Okay, so I can't take that test. Okay, so and this time, okay, so as reduced drastically, making it less stressful for the students. Okay, but the GRE, the reduced test time is going to be effective from September 23. And if you're going to ask me like whether you need to wait till September 23, I would say like if you're very confident, yeah, you can. Okay, but otherwise, okay, so give it earlier also. The reason is because, so in case if you have not got into your target score, you always have another chance. Okay, to give another shot. Okay, so but if you're going to give your first attempt in September, okay, so then it can unnecessarily prolong the time. Okay, so I don't want anyone to take chances. Okay, so after all, everyone is going to invest around 45-50 lakhs on your higher studies. Okay, so consider this as another investment. Okay, so prepare well. Okay, so give one shot. Okay, and see how things work. Okay, and the important change with respect to TOEFL is not just the reduced test time. Okay, so previously Canada, okay, so is one country, okay, so which is targeted, okay, for its PR attraction. Okay, so the opportunity of PR, okay, so is more in Canada. Okay, and it's a very attractive incentive for foreigners. And TOEFL, so long, okay, so Canada was accepting only IELTS, okay, to process visas under the SDS category. So SDS category is a category which has got better success rates, okay, when it comes to getting a visa decision. So, and a lot of people process their Canadian visa under the SDS category. And IELTS was the only English test that was considered, but now TOEFL is also considered. Okay, so that's a great news, okay, for TOEFL lovers. Okay, so those people who are very comfortable with TOEFL, okay, so kind of feeling a little dicey, should I have to give IELTS for Canada? Okay, now the good news is, okay, if you're targeting Canada, you can give TOEFL. Okay, it will be considered for your visa application. And IELTS, okay, so it's again English language test. Okay, so so it is governed by a British Council or the IDP. Okay, so these people take care of the test. Okay, so and it is more similar to TOEFL only. Okay, so there could be some changes in the question types. Okay, so it is important you familiarize yourself with the question types. Okay, so everyone out here can speak good English. I believe in it. Okay, so but you see, speaking English is very different. Okay, so I still remember a couple of years before. Okay, so when the TOEFL product was introduced at Galvanize, I was one of those people who was asked to test the test materials. Okay, and I was literally struggling. Okay, so I can speak on a lot of topics. Okay, so but speaking English is different. Okay, from IELTS or TOEFL. So the key is going to be familiarizing yourself with all the question types. Okay, so IELTS is going to be valid for 2 years, just like the TOEFL. Okay, so it's a pretty easy test. Okay, so but having told when compared to GRE, but having said that, okay, so familiarization is key. Okay, so dedicate good amount of time for your English test preparations as well. And Galvanize again will be helping you in a very customized manner. So now I think it is time for the second poll. And so how would you like to prepare for your GRE, TOEFL or IELTS? So self-preparation, in-person live class, live online camps, online course with a structured personalized plan. Self-preparation. Okay, so is topping the chart. Okay, so with 63%. Okay, so great. So poll just got ended. Okay, so I see self-preparation. Okay, 63%. In person 3%. Yeah, in person. Okay, so out of fashion. Okay, so everything has become online. And live online class only 6%. Yeah, it's a pretty costly thing. Okay, so live online. Okay, so an online course with a structured study plan 28%. That is pretty surprising. Self-preparation. Okay, so I understand. Okay, so self-preparation, you people are very confident and comfortable. Okay, so this is my personal perspective. Okay, so I leave the choice to you guys. Okay, so if I'm a student and I'm going abroad and I'm going to invest like 45 lakhs on my higher studies, and I'm very capable of scoring a 315 in my GRE. Okay, so but taking some professional help, if I'm going to boost it and get to a 320, okay, I don't mind spending a few thousand rupees on that. Okay, I will consider that as an investment. Okay, so I leave the choice to you guys. Okay, so now next. Okay, so now let me quickly take you through about SOPs and recommendation letters. Okay, so these are the other factors that will be considered by your university. Okay, so the SOP is a statement of purpose. Okay, so I always tell my students, okay, so if you're done, if there are some reasons, okay, for the low CGPA or some red flags in your profile, SOP could be a good opportunity for you to explain your reasons. Okay, but do not make it look like a sob story. Okay, so to me personally, it is a self-boasting essay about yourself, because you're going to market yourself. Okay, so you're going to sell your profile. Okay, so you're able to get a admission into that university. Okay, and do give reasons for some of the red flags in your profile. Okay, but don't make it sound like a sob story. Okay, so let it be more positive and let it narrate. Okay, so your story so far. Okay, so and where this path is going to lead you. Okay, and SOP should be really compelling to read for the panel. Okay, and one important compelling reason, okay, is the length of your SOP. Okay, so if you're going to give me a document, a 3-page document and a 1-page document, I will be more compelled to read a 1-page document. Okay, so when I say compelling SOP, okay, so the length of the essay is very important. Okay, the more precise your narrative is, okay, so the more compelling it is going to be. So see to it you keep your SOPs, okay, a page or maybe maximum a page and a half. Okay, and there are a lot of other essay requirements as well. Okay, so for some top universities like diversity statements and other things. So all of them are more or less like your approach should be same like a statement of purpose. And recommendation letters. Okay, so don't be worried about the recommendation letters because this is not your document. Okay, so this is a document that's going to be submitted by your recommender. Okay, SOP, as a student, you should be more focused on your SOP and your resume. And recommendation letters, I've seen a lot of students coming back and saying like 2 recommendation letters are starting the same. Okay, that's okay. That's absolutely fine. Okay, because it's a recommender's document. Okay, so but while getting your recommendation letters, okay, so it is important you identify the right recommender. Okay, especially based on your profile, the program you're targeting. For example, a student from electrical and communication engineering targeting a program in data science, I will suggest the student to get some LOAs from a faculty who has taught some program relating to data science or some computer science concepts. Okay, because that will add value to your application. And the seniority of the recommender is also going to be important, whether it's an associate or assistant professor. Okay, so that will create some difference. And a lot of students ask me, sir, should I have to identify a PhD faculty? Okay, it depends. Okay, so you're applying for a artificial intelligence program and you have a faculty who has taught you a subject and has also has some research, okay, experience in artificial intelligence. Maybe that person could be a good pick. Okay, so identify your recommenders based on your profile and based on the program you're going to target. Maximum 3 recommendation letters are going to be required. Okay, so depending upon the your number of years of work experience you have, we can determine like how many from your workplace and how many from your university. Okay, and but in general, the recommenders are those people, the qualified recommenders are those people who have actually been in a supervisory position for you. At an academic level, it is people who have taught you any subject, the head of the department, okay, or a project guide. And when it comes to work LOAs, okay, so it can be a person who has to whom you have reported to, like a team manager, a team leader, or maybe a client manager, okay, someone like that. So at a high level, recommendations should be given by a person who had been in some supervisory position for you. And some quick tips, okay, so for LOR, so because this LOR is a completely an online process, okay, so you need to first consult with your recommenders, okay, well ahead of time. Okay, so don't wait till end of till the last minute. Okay, so try to get their approval well ahead. Okay, and you need to obtain your recommenders official email ID. Okay, so personal email IDs like Gmail, Yahoo, okay, so Reader, okay, these are not going to work. Okay, but having said that, if the universities have not given official email ID, so then, okay, so get your LOAs signed on the letterhead of the institution, signed and stamped by them. Okay, so this will be equivalent to an official email ID. Okay, and since the recommendation is an online process, when you're filling your application, there will be an option asking you whether you would like to waive off your recommendation, the right to see the LOR or not. So please do select waive your right. Okay, so this is not going to have any impact, but universities feel if the candidate has waived off the right, okay, so the recommenders will be in a more comfortable position to give a honest recommendation for the student. Okay, so these are some things you can keep in mind, okay, with respect to your recommendation letters. Now, the important aspect is going to be how to fund your higher studies. Okay, so now we have discussed like why it is important to study abroad, which destination you can choose, Okay, so based on what you can choose, okay, so what are the different things you need to prepare, okay, so to make your applications, when to start the application process and everything. And now it is important to understand how you're going to fund your higher studies. Okay, so three common source of funding. One is a scholarship, another is the educational loan, and finally it's the personal savings. So personal savings is your family savings, okay, and financial aid, okay, so scholarships, okay, so it is very tough for students to get it at the time of their admission itself. A lot of students get these scholarships once they start their program. And educational loan is the most popular one. It's because a lot of students, okay, so who are traveling abroad, they're not from very rich families, okay. A lot of people are from middle class, upper middle class kind of people, okay. And educational loan is one of the popular source of funding for those students. And scholarships, okay, so fellowship, teaching assistantship, research assistantship are some scholarship opportunities available. And apart from these, you also have something called a graduate assistantship. So fellowship is the highest of scholarships. Okay, so the candidate is not expected to work, so that complete tuition, living, everything expenses is bared by the university. And teaching assistantship, as the name goes, okay, so you're going to work with the faculty and assist them with their lectures. Okay, as I mentioned earlier, if you have having a good English test course will help you in getting teaching assistantship. And then you have research assistantships. Okay, so students who are interested in research, okay, so they can approach the respective faculties. Okay, and if you're given a research assistantship, you're going to help them with their research activities. And last is the graduate assistantship. It is not listed here. So graduate assistantship is more like helping a faculty with the administrative work. Okay, so these are some scholarship opportunities that are going to be available for you either before starting the program or after starting the program. And so we have now listed some students, okay, who have received scholarships. Okay, our first student, okay, so is Pavitra Srinivasan. So she's not a student at Galvanize. So in fact, she's the founder of Galvanize. So she completed her master's from Stanford, okay, on a fellowship. So we have put a copy of her fellowship letter, okay, for your quick reference. So she's the brain behind Galvanize, okay, the pedagogy and everything. And next, so we have Valerin. Okay, so Valerin, okay, so you see, so CGPA 7.8, GRE is 313. Okay, so she has received a teaching assistantship. Okay, so and if you look at your our English test scores, okay, it's 119. Okay, so you can understand, okay, so this score should have played quite a role, okay, for her to get a teaching assistantship. And so this is a quick letter, okay, so of proof, okay, for Valerin for receiving a teaching assistantship. Okay, so you see, so you need not really be worried like whether you have not, if you have not received these kind of scholarships, okay, when you get a decision. Okay, so even after starting your program, based on your how you perform, okay, and based on your attitude, okay, so you can always pitch in, okay, so at the university for these scholarships. Okay, I've seen a lot of students getting TA and RA and graduate assistantships after starting their programs. Okay, so never lose heart or get disappointed. Always keep yourself motivated, because keeping yourself motivated throughout this journey, throughout completing the program, is going to be very, very important. Okay, so keep that in mind and be motivated always, okay, until you complete your program and find yourself a job. Okay, so this is Tasim Ahmed. Okay, so he worked as an assistant professor and got some 1 year of experience, and he also has 2.5 years of industrial experience as a business executive. And based on his research experience, he has been given a research assistantship at Texas Arlington. So the student is from Bangladesh. Okay, so Galvanize is completely online. So we have students across the globe. Okay, and now let's talk about the educational loan. So educational loan is the most popular one. Okay, and there are three different categories of loans. Okay, so one is the collateral based loan, which means you're going to pledge your property to get your loan. Okay, and mostly when you're approaching a nationalized bank, okay, so they will be looking for a collateral. So collateral will be a must for nationalized banks. And then you're going to have the other loan option, okay, so where you can approach non-banking financial corporations, okay, like Credila, Encred, these kind of people, okay, and they require a co-signer, okay, and depending upon the profile of the co-signer, okay, they may or may not require a collateral. And there are also some fintech companies, okay, so which provide you loan without a collateral. But in order to secure your loan, whether it's a collateral, non-collateral, or any other loan, okay, it is important that you have a good admit. So once you have a good admit, okay, everything else, okay, falls into place automatically. Okay, your chances of getting a loan will also increase. Okay, there are a lot of lenders who provide you loans based on your GRE scores as well. Okay, but in order to get a good admit, so these are some areas that you need to focus on. So now it's time for this third poll. So when are you planning to start the application process? August, September. Great. Okay, so a lot of students starting from August, September, October, November. Okay, cool. So I wish like you guys have understood the timeline. Okay, and you have made your polling based on that. Okay, so but it is very important. Okay, so I saw Amiga, it's like 20-25% of students, okay, not very sure. Okay, but all those students were sure, okay, so about the process and not sure. Okay, so all of you have to understand, okay, so to apply early is going to be very important. Okay, so why it is important to be an early applicant? Okay, so to be an early applicant, okay, so it's going to show a very serious intent about your higher studies to the universities. Okay, and the other important thing, okay, so especially students with tricky profiles, okay, so applying early, okay, you will have a slight edge over the other students because it's kind of a first come first serve basis. Okay, so and also for students who are looking for scholarship opportunities, because a lot of universities have something called a priority deadline. Okay, so the deadline itself is differentiated as regular deadlines and priority deadlines, and priority deadlines are the scholarship deadlines. Okay, so if you're looking for scholarships, apply early. Okay, so so all those students, okay, so who are sure and not sure, okay, so keep in mind, okay, being an early applicant will be a added advantage for you. And Galvanize Global Education. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about some case studies, okay, some profiles that we have helped in the past. Okay, so one Arini, okay, so you can look at her profile, okay, and a 9.6 CGPA with a staggering GRE score of 330 and a TOEFL score of 112. Okay, and she has got into Carnegie Mellon University for a MS. And you see, it is not just the scores. Okay, so she would have put across a very compelling SOP as well as a part of her application, and should have received some strong recommendations for her applications as well. Okay, so so don't be carried away. It is just the ACADS, okay, the GRE score alone has helped the student. Okay, so she should have faced a tough competition with other students as well. Okay, so the difference could have been created by other factors in her application. Okay, and And next we have Shreyas. Okay, so he's another student. Okay, we helped him in getting into Carnegie Mellon for an information technology program. Okay, and again, okay, academically a very strong student. Okay, from NIIT University. Okay, and then we have Suraj Melkani. Okay, so Suraj has gone to US to do his PhD in soil and water sciences. Okay, so to University of Florida. So he's a PhD student. Okay, so the previous two students are masters, and we have Sashank Modali, okay, with 8.3, who has gone to Purdue, okay, for his MS in aerospace engineering. So you guys can be wondering like why we are just showcasing, okay, so students with very good acads, okay, and good profile getting into some top universities abroad. Okay, so here we have Nikita, okay, so who has gone to IIT, okay, so in the US for a master's in biomedical engineering. So you just need not have to think like you need to be very good with your acads. Okay, you see you have so many options out there. Okay, so many options. Okay, so there is an option for everyone. Okay, so we have Deepika Patil here. Okay, so who has a CGPA of only 3 out of 4. Okay, and a GRE score of 297. Okay, it's not very competitive. Okay, so in terms of the acads. Okay, but you need to focus on other components like your SOP and getting a strong recommendation letter. You see, she has now gone into New Jersey Institute of Technology for a computer science. And New Jersey is one of those prime locations, okay, which means better networking opportunities, okay, and better career opportunities, okay. So whatever the profile is, for every profile, there is an option available for you. But it is going to be important that you think rationally, okay, and choose the one, okay, so that will help you with your future goals, okay. That is your academic and your career goals, okay. So it is not necessary that you need to have staggering academic records. Okay, for all profiles, okay, there are options. Okay, so provided you're able to think through rationally. So we have Rahul Sahajan from IIT. Okay, so with a 7 point, and so this profile, why I've stopped here, it's because we have helped the student to go to Germany for Karlsruhe Institute of Technology. Okay, so for optics and photonics. And then we have Sultan Abdul. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, okay, so a lot of European countries are very academic centric. Okay, and GPA is going to be pretty important. Okay, and then we have Ketan Babi. Okay, so was went to Ireland. Okay, for University College Cork. Okay, so you see, so these countries don't require a GRE, so academics are going to be pretty important. And we have Prerag Choksi. Okay, so has gone to Dalhousie University for a master's in computer science. You see, Canada. Okay, so again, okay, so no GRE, so it's going to be academics is going to be pretty important for Canada. Okay, and Shanu has gone to University of Windsor, okay, with a 7.2 CGPA. So you need to have a rational thought process when you're selecting all your universities. Okay, so there is an option for every one of them. Okay, so I've handled so many students, okay, with a huge number of backlogs, drop years, okay, career gaps, academic gaps. Okay, a lot of people are now in the US, UK, and Canada. Okay, so you need to have a positive thought process so everything works well for you guys. So now it's time for the final poll, I guess. So how do you like to complete the entire admission process? Great. So I see like around 62%, okay, so would like to take help from a study abroad consultant. Okay, and friends, family, seniors from college, self-preparation. Cool. So a lot of people like to take help from a study abroad consultant. So that's nice. Okay, so other people and also those people who wanted to take help from study abroad consultants, okay, take a conscious decision, do your homeworks properly, okay, understand like who will be able to be genuine, okay, and who can be a trusted partner for you, okay, so in this entire journey. Okay, so there are a lot of social media forums available for you, like the Quora, okay, so and where people post their feedback. So go through, okay, so all this, okay, and do your homework and choose your the right consultant for your study abroad process. So we are getting closer to the end of the session. Okay, so I will be taking you through on how the Galvanize portal is designed to help students with this study abroad journey. Okay, so Ramya, so are you going to
Hello.
hello, Ramya?
Yeah, Raguvir. So, till the time I give you a short break, shall I take over so that you could keep the portal ready and then we can share?
Sure, Ramya.
Okay, sure, we'll do that. So, I think till the time we give a short break to Raguvir, where we talk more about how we can help you with. So, here's a quick share on how Galvanize can help you. So yes, of course, Galvanize has mobile applications which are completely free and handy, and moreover, it's fun, I would say, to learn words on our vocab application, which is gamified out there, and that again, helps you understand the words with more ease and memorize it for a very long time. So those are the free apps that we have. But yes, of course, in case you're looking for some additional assistance with respect to more guidance in a personalized way with test prep, with more additional practice questions, then yes, of course, Galvanize does have complete courses online as well. And yes, of course, the admission counseling, where Raguvir would be shortly showing on how the portal will be so transparent for you to understand and keep a track of all your complete the whole application process. Here a little bit perks of being with Galvanize for the test preparations as well as for your admission counseling involves a personalized study plan, unlimited ask an expert, in-depth analysis provided to you after the tests that you would be giving out there, a lot of practice questions, and yes, of course, mock series as well. And not to forget, you will have updated test pattern with most affordable rate, and also easy way of learning with expert guidance, I would say. So these are some of the perks of being with Galvanize for education. So in this part, Raghuveer would be talking more about this. I would like to run you through a general process of how the admission process, application process, or the complete guidance happens for Galvanize out there. And here is the platform, and
okay.
I would request Raghu to take over here, where he could explain the portal to our students for better understanding.
Great. Thank you so much, Ramya. So, dear attendees, okay, so and students, okay, so we have built a in-house portal, okay, so designed by our team, okay. So every student who signs up for the process will be given access to their portal. So both for the test preparation as well as their admission counseling process. So so today's session is more on admission counseling. So I'm taking you through the admission counseling portal. So this is how the portal is going to look like. So everything is driven through the portal. So the overview tab will give the student an understanding about the general aspects about the admission process. Okay, so and different country informations are going to be available. And we will be capturing this. So once the student signs up for the process as a part of the onboarding, okay, so the student will be assigned with the admission counselor. So and for them to evaluate the student's profile, okay, so we will be capturing all the details of the student's profile. Okay, so 1 minute. Okay. So this is the student's profile. So we capture a lot of details about the student, okay, like the target intake, okay, so the country they're going to target, okay, so and their past experience, okay, their academic experience, okay, the test scores the student has scored, which university the student prefers to go, okay, so we capture all this information because students' preference is going to be very important, okay, so when we always keep the students' preference in the first place. And if things doesn't work well, okay, with the students' preference, we are going to suggest the students some alternate choices. Okay, so this student has actually gone to US to University of Houston. So we have captured all the details, okay, about the student. So based on these details, the counselor will evaluate the student's profile, capture their preferences, and accordingly, they're going to provide them the university shortlist. Okay, so once the shortlist available, okay, so it is going to be put across on the portal. Okay, so in the applications tab, okay, so student will get a chance to go through the universities that have been listed for them, and we categorize the universities based on the likelihood of the student getting an admit, and we categorize them as ambitious, practical, and safe. So ambitious, you need not be worried that you're not going to get an admit. Okay, so but your chances are not very high when compared to a safe or a practical. You understood? At the same time, safe doesn't mean, okay, so you're guaranteed an admission. You understood? So you don't have control on certain things, especially the application pool. You understood? So we will try and help you in putting some of the best applications for you. Okay, so but largely speaking, okay, we categorize them as ambitious, practical, and safe, and then the counselor will sit with the student to review the shortlist, okay, and finalize, okay, universities for the application process. So parallelly, the student will also start working on their essays, like the resume, statement of purpose, the recommendation letters, and everything. So this each student will be assigned with an editor, okay, and the editorial team is headed by an alumni from London School of Business, okay, so heading the team, okay, and again it's all completely driven on the portal, okay, so we have a unique way of helping students with their essays. For example, the statement of purpose, we have formulated a questionnaire, okay, and we capture the students' thoughts, and not just the thoughts, we also capture the students' writing style. Okay, so we'll want to look the document, okay, like the way the student has written. So we capture the writing style of the student, and we capture their thoughts, and we come out with a draft, okay, so telling the story of the student, okay, and why they wanted to do a master's now, okay, and how this is going to help with their future, and everything is going to be driven through the portal. And until the student completes the entire process, a WhatsApp group is going to be dedicated between the student and the service managers, I would say. Okay, so if there are going to be any bottlenecks, any issues the student is facing, okay, technical issues, for that matter, even an issue with the admission counselor, okay, so they can always report it on their WhatsApp group. Okay, so there is going to be someone, okay, so traveling with the student, okay, until they complete the entire process with us. Okay, so we have come out with a lot of controls and checks, okay, to ensure, okay, we are able to deliver quality service. Okay, so this is about the portal. So I think Ramya, we should be good to take the questions. So if there's nothing else.
So till the time we are now open to some of the questions as well. But before we dive into the questions out there, we would quickly like to break the surprise that we have for you with respect to free profile evaluation that we have. Like Raguvir, we have more counselors out there helping students in by giving them, expert guidance personally. And if you would like to take this opportunity, please do register for this free profile evaluation, where you could get in touch with us based on your profile. We could guide you as to what next you can do, in your program out there, and how you can utilize the time that you have in your hand. So I would like to freeze the screen here right now, so that you could make a note of the link, as well as I will share the link on the chat box. And Yes, of course, this is a very great opportunity out there. And so, Raghuveer, are you ready to take up the questions out there? Shall we take up some of the questions?
Yeah, Ramya, I'm ready. Okay, so do we need to give both GRE and IELTS for Canada? So Canada is not a GRE centric country. Okay, so if you're targeting for a business program, okay, so you can give a GRE. Otherwise, like some universities may require a GRE. Okay, so but to have good ACADS is important for Canada. So that is for Lisa. And we have Dhruv Shrikant. I've heard that there are several rounds of application. First round. Okay, so this first round, second round, third round kind of application deadlines are more for business related programs. Okay, and for a master's program, generally they're going to be two deadlines. One is the regular deadline, and another is going to be the priority deadline. And Hari Krishnan, okay, so you're my kind. You have 9 backlogs. Okay, I like that only. Okay, so don't be worried. Okay, so we can get admitted in the US. Okay, so I've handled students with more than 25, 30 backlogs. Okay, so stay positive, Hari Krishnan, so we can help you on that. And how to shortlist university? Someone is asking for a job. Okay, so I'm not going to answer that question, how to shortlist universities. Okay, so that's the company's secret. Okay, and Shruti Goyal, for the universities that have removed GRE as per the guidelines presently, does GRE score as an edge in the application process? You see, Shruti, I do not know what your profile looks like. Okay, so but if you're a student, okay, with a tricky CGPA, okay, so that tricky CGPA already becomes a filter. Okay, for searching for universities. And then if you have some location preferences, that becomes another filter. And if you have some budget constraints, that becomes another filter. Okay, and if you're not going to have a GRE, okay, so that's going to narrow down your options too much. Okay, so I will be able to answer this question. Okay, probably if you request for the profile evaluation, okay, so I will be able to guide you better on this. Okay, Sai Sandeep, is it better to take old GRE or new GRE? So yeah, so as I mentioned during my presentation, okay, September is when it is going to come into effect. Okay, if you're very confident that you can crack the GRE, you can wait. Okay, so otherwise, okay, so it's like spend 25K, okay, so and try to crack it, okay, before that. Okay, so you can always, if there are funds, you can give a shot again after September, okay, to improve your scores. And so that's for and Shruti, for USA, do we need to give both GRE and TOEFL? Yeah, so USA is a GRE centric country. Okay, so you need to give both GRE and either TOEFL or IELTS. So for Germany, is IELTS or TOEFL preferred? So anything is fine. So I will suggest you to go with IELTS, Dande. And Aditya, when you say top universities, what do you mean by that? Okay, so yeah, so for each one top universities, the definitions can vary. Okay, so top universities are by data, okay, based on the rankings. And can you please okay, so what more questions? If I want to go to the US from Sri Raksha, so if I want to go to the US for fall 24, which is better to take old GRE? I guess I answered this question earlier, Sri Raksha. I leave it to your confidence. So how to shortlist universities, that again my job. So you see shortlisting universities, okay. So if you are going to Google, okay, so it's going to through the some result, okay, like the top 20, 40 universities for that particular field of study. But you need to go through the eligibility criteria and understand like how much your profile will fit in. Okay, and more important, you need to look into data like the acceptance rate, the number of applications received by the university, and there is a lot of data that you need to play around, okay, which will not be available explicitly on the internet. Okay, so but you need to consider a lot of things. Okay, so while shortlisting universities. Okay, so and so yeah, so I think my GP and GRE score is okay, Shukman, but I don't have any work experience or any internships. Will it be okay? So so Shukman, this requires a little more detailed conversation with you. Okay, so I will I will suggest you to submit the profile evaluation form. So me or someone from my team can connect with you. Okay, so because I need to understand what your GPA, GRE scores, okay, whether it is okay or not. So Dhruv Shrikant, I've heard that there are several rounds. Yeah, I think I've answered that question. And yes, Dhruv, a lot of priority deadlines are in November. Okay. And Anmol, I have just joined MSc in International Management and Marketing in Germany. However, I'm not liking the theory-based approach. If I try to apply for a PhD in USA, I have CGP self-preparing for GRE. Yeah, Anmol. Okay, so I will suggest you to focus on more research activities. Okay, so you're able to build your profile for a PhD in the US. Okay, so but I need to also understand about your bachelor's degree as well. Okay, and Rashid, my GPS 2. Yeah, Rashid, you can make it. Okay, no problem, only. Okay, so there are a lot of options available. Okay, you should be willing to change your course of action. Okay, so I don't know what went wrong during your college to get to 2.4. Okay, so but see to it. Okay, so you have learned your lessons. Okay, so you will get a good option. Okay, so see to it. Okay, so you're charged up. Okay, so to complete your master's successfully. And through I've heard that there are several rounds. Okay, plan priority. Okay, when will the priority deadlines end? Does it depend on yeah? So it depends on universities, but in general, okay, so it gets over by around say by November, December beginning. Okay, so the priority deadlines can get over, and sometimes okay, so it will be extended until end of December as well. Okay, I'm talking about the fall intake. Okay, so and so we have put the link for the profile evaluation on the chat box. Okay, so students, this is a free profile evaluation only. So whatever time is convenient for you, okay, so you can fill this form and request for a call back. So we can have a detailed discussion. Okay, it's going to be absolutely free. Okay, so you're just going to spend some time with me or with my counselors. Okay. So I guess, Ramya, the questions are pretty much done. Okay.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much, Raguvir, for being with us on a Saturday evening and helping us understand the whole process that a student needs to go for. I'm pretty sure there are a lot of students who are new to the whole process and they would have gotten idea on how to proceed further. But still, in case you are a little bit confused as to how to go for it, here are our contact details. You can get in touch with us. You can go for the profile evaluation form, option that is there, so that we can talk to you in person and understand. In case you have some test preparation related queries, you can get in touch with us on this number, and our email ID is also there. Feel free to get in touch with us. We would be really glad to help you out there. Once again, a big thank you to all the students who have been actively participating in this session, and thank you to Raghu as well for joining us today. Would you like to say something, Raghu, at the end?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, everyone. Okay, for taking time, especially on a weekend. Okay, if I was you, probably I would have not been here. I would have been spending time with my friends. Okay, so happy Saturday, everyone, and thank you so much, Ramya, for hosting this session.
Thank you, Raghuveer. By this, we have come to the end of the session. And once again, all the best, everyone. Thank you.